Every airplane parked on a tarmac has a history. But not every airplane has a story. Most of them were loved from day one. The trainers, the utility haulers, they had it easy. But me? I was born into an aviation family that expected me to be a savior, but treated me like an outcast. They called me the 172 killer before I even turned a propeller. They thought I was sent to replace the most popular aircraft in human history. But if you look past the old hangar talk, past the rumors, you'll find a machine that just wanted to fly fast, look beautiful, and push the boundaries of design. My name is the Cessna Cardinal 177RG, and if a plane could talk, raw, uncut truth about what it takes to stand out in a world built for conformity. Welcome to AeroLifeUncut. Today, we are stripping away the myths and looking at the triumph, the tragedy, and the redemption of aviation's most misunderstood masterpiece. Before you hear my side of the story, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's go back to where the dream began, the late 1960s.
In 1967, Cessna was completely ruling the general aviation skies. The Model 172 Skyhawk was selling like crazy. It was safe, it was reliable. Cessna's top engineers wanted something futuristic for the next decade. They didn't want a flying box. They wanted a flying sports car. So, they sat down at the drawing boards and threw away the old rules. They wanted to fix every single aesthetic complaint pilots had about high-wing planes.
First, they gave me an incredibly low cabin profile. You see, on a 172, you practically have to climb a ladder to get into the seat. On me, you just step right in. Next, they took the windshield and swept it back at a radical angle. It looked fast even when it was just tied down on the ramp, waiting for a pilot. And then came the real stroke of genius. They pushed my entire wing far back behind the front seats. Why? To open up the horizon. Without any bulky metal struts blocking your left and right view, turning into a steep bank felt like you were floating unsupported in midair. But aviation history is written in reality, not just on blueprints. When the first production models of the Cessna 177 rolled out in late 1967, disaster struck. Cessna made a massive mistake right out of the gate. They equipped my sleek, modern frame with a tiny, 150 horsepower Lycoming engine, the exact same engine from the lighter 172. For an aircraft designed to be a premium performer, it was like putting a lawnmower engine inside a brand new Italian sports car. Climb performance was downright terrifying. And then came the landings. To give me incredible control, the engineers didn't give me a standard elevator on the tail, where the entire horizontal tail moves as one single piece. It was incredibly powerful, too powerful for pilots who were used to the sluggish, forgiving controls of an old Skyhawk. If a pilot panicked and pulled back too fast during a landing flare, the stabilator would completely stall out the tail. The nose would drop instantly, slamming the nose gear straight into the concrete. Thud. The infamous Cardinal bounce was born. Hangar gossip spreads faster than a tailwind. Within months, the aviation community branded me as dangerous, difficult, and a complete. Flight schools refused to buy me. But Cessna knew they had something special in my design. They didn't scrap the project. Instead, they rolled up their sleeves and gave me the ultimate engineering redemption arc. In 1971, they finally gave me the muscles I deserved. They threw away the weak engine and dropped in a fuel-injected 200 horsepower Lycoming IO-360 engine. They fixed the tail geometry, adding slots and counterweights so I wouldn't slam my nose down anymore. I became stable, predictable, and incredibly smooth. But the absolute crown jewel of my evolution? Retractable landing gear. That is when I officially transformed into the Cessna Cardinal 177RG. Tucking my legs away into the fuselage changed everything. I wasn't a sluggish, awkward trainer anymore. I was a beautiful, high-performance cross-country cruiser. I went from struggling to climb over trees to blasting through the sky at a solid 145 knots cruise speed, leaving traditional fixed-gear planes far behind in my wake. If you talk to any pilot lucky enough to own a Cardinal RG today, they will tell you that flying me is an experience unlike anything else in general aviation. It starts the second you open those massive, automotive-style cabin doors. There's no awkward maneuvering around a structural strut just to get inside. You sit down, settle into the seat, and you realize you are sitting completely forward of the wing. The visibility is absolutely unparalleled. When you push the throttle forward, you don't feel like you're driving a heavy utility truck like a Cessna 182, you feel like you're piloting a responsive, fine-tuned sports machine. I require a pilot with a gentle touch. Someone who respects the airspeeds, understands energy management, and takes the time to master my unique tail control. But if you treat me with respect, I will reward you with some of the smoothest, most stable cross-country flights you can ever experience in a single-engine plane. Cessna ended up stopping production of the Cardinal line in 1978. They only built a few thousand of us over a 10-year run. They went back to building the reliable, conventional 172s and 182s. They chose conformity over innovation. But my story didn't end there. Today, I am a highly prized possession, a cult classic kept alive by an incredibly tight-knit, passionate community of owners who refuse to fly anything else. I never became the 172 killer that the marketing department wanted me to be. And honestly, I am completely glad I didn't. Instead, I became something much rarer, sleek, sophisticated, and entirely unique. A testament to what happens when you dare to build something different. That is exactly what this channel is all about. Celebrating the raw passion for flight, the triumphs, the quirks, and the genuine, unvarnished stories of the machines that rule the sky. Welcome to AeroLifeUncut. We are just getting started on this journey, and we want you along for the ride.
Hit that subscribe button right now, drop a comment below, and tell me, would you choose a Cardinal RG over a Piper Aero or a Cessna 182?
Thank you for listening to my story. Keep your eyes on the horizon, stay passionate, and we will see you in the next episode. Until then, wheels up.